I'm here with my mother-in-law, Ray's mom, and in light of the Roe versus Wade leak, we just wanted to give our opinions and our perspective.
For all the women out there that are worried, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if they get rid of abortion? Yeah. Well, this is where we need to think, okay, before 1972, there was no abortion. Think about it. Grandparents lived with their kids, you know, they pulled together. So this is where we need to pull together. Now, if you don't have a family member you can trust, and that's the biggest thing, is opening up and being real and trusting. So they need someone like, I've met moms, they've trusted me over the years. One of the moms said to me, I'm so thankful that you told me to choose life and helped me choose life. I didn't really want to do this, but I didn't know how I was going to do it on my own. And no one's going to help me. And I said, well, I'll help you. And so we, we did. It was a beautiful journey. Yeah. And now one baby is 3.5 and one's so 4.5. And one's getting ready to go to kindergarten. So, these are real women, real babies with problems. Sometimes life just sucks. It's just, I've had crappy moments. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was horrible. We had a house. We had 3 kids, Linda, Ray, and John. We were at Fort Carson, Colorado. He was a captain. He was making 30-something thousand. Yeah. I remember we'd pay our bills and then we'd look at each other like, oh, we got 2 more weeks of payday. So, I delivered newspapers on the weekends and my husband hated that. But life is not always easy.
But it's not always going to be like this.
Yeah. It's putting up your bootstraps, rolling up your sleeves and saying, okay, how can I help you? Yeah. I think deep down, it's compassion. If we all have compassion for moms and really, as older moms, looking down and thinking, where was I at that time? How can we help these women? You know what I mean? And so I always say to them, okay, what's your first problem? Let's solve it together, okay? It's just all these decisions they have to solve and they're scared. And so if you can call the pregnancy center near you, just put in your phone, pregnancy center near me, or 1-800-848-LOVE. Helping you solve your problems so abortion is not even thinkable. And when my dad died, both mothers really texted me beautiful messages. And they said, we're praying for you. And they were just heartfelt texts. They said,
so sweet.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
These women who she helped choose life and just help support, they were there for her. It's so incredible. The circle of just support. Here you are helping them, but there are moments where you need help and to be lifted up. And then they were helping you. Yeah. What a gift.
It was a beautiful thing. And I told them, I said, thank you so much. And it was for them to be able to know that I cared about them and they cared about me, and because they don't have that. For one, the mom was shunned because she gave birth to her 3rd child. I just can't imagine. And so we did a baby shower for her on my birthday. I said, I don't need birthday gifts, just a baby shower gift for her.
Beautiful.
And it was the other mom's birthday. So it was just how God works. But it's just being real. I think that's the biggest thing.
Being a mother is awesome and there's so much joy, but let me tell you, it's hard. It's really hard, and we need other people. You need the idea of it takes a village. Oh my goodness. It's like a roller coaster. Each day you don't really know what it's going to, give you. But we have 3 children and they're 3 under 3. And there are so many joyful moments, but there are also some really hard moments.
Absolutely.
I have a woman in my life who has totally adopted me as her daughter, who lives about 15 minutes from us. And we go there once a week and I get some relief. Her kids watch my boys and I get to have some, just mom time and just my own, just sanity.
Mental break.
Mental break.
Absolutely. We all need it.
And I know people are in their own seasons, but whatever season you're in, there's something you can do.
You can't just say choose life. You have to say, I will help you choose life.
And I have the resources.
Yeah. The biggest problem is that in Louisville, they had a joke. The guys were not paying child care. So these women had already chosen life for their first child, walking into the abortion clinic with a kid on their head to kill the second child. And it... but I'm still walking through with Chelsea, with Regina, these women that literally
that you help choose life, but it's hard.
One chose her life on her own, but then had no one to turn to, and we were in the delivery room together, and she said, "You're my mom." They gave me texted for Mother's Day, and she said, "I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you."
You adopted these women.
Woo! Just makes you want to cry, But it's not that I think it's just really understanding where they are and earning their trust, not looking at them at evil people, but looking at them at what are they going through. No one chooses abortion because they just want to kill a baby. They are so desperate and tired. They've tried so hard and they just don't know what to do anymore. All the doors are closing in their faces, and their families are telling them, you already have a child you can't take care of. How are you going to have another? Yeah. So it just breaks my heart. I guess God has placed that on my heart. My degree's in social work. So it's really to understand the situation that person's going through and help them. You know, like I think if you understand and just say, you don't have to do this. There are better options. God gave you this child for a reason, and there's better choices out there. There's so many people we can connect you with that will help you choose life. So, you know, that's the big thing is, you know, I see this, we as a nation that are Christians and pro-life need to open our hearts and say, what can we do to help women choose life? Because they volunteer to pregnancy centers, you know, offer up childcare for a woman you know that maybe sitting next to you that is exhausted. Say, hey, I'll watch your kids for a couple hours. Go grocery shopping. Go get your nails done. Or, you know, they may not be able to afford to get their nails done. Maybe just to get a haircut. Like, or just to go grocery shopping and take a shower. You know, I mean, it's offering that genuine help as a mom, because the moms that I've helped, their parents have disowned them, have turned away from them because they chose life. It's just a sad thing to see how they chose life and they have been penalized. Their parents have, one mother, she offered to watch the child if she'd give her money, food stamp money, and didn't even change the kid's diaper. He had diaper rash. It was just horrible. So
every single mom that I know had the difficult choice of choosing life, knowing that it was going to be hard and not knowing how they were going to do it. I have not heard anyone regret that choice. But those women that have unfortunately made the choice of abortion, I've almost always heard, you know, that there has been like, oh, I feel such sadness. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. And there, of course, there's that forgiveness period. And I think I also want to address the topic of just the proper order to things, right?
Absolutely.
And just like, gosh, I remember dating and it was hard. Like, you know, hormones are high and, you know, but like I committed, like, you know, I was taught in my whole life, like you save sex for marriage, like, and sex is good, but in marriage, you know, and it's like, it's hard. It's really hard. And especially like when, you know, all these magazines are totally promoting you to do all these crazy things when you're in high school and college. And it's like, but that's not where joy and that's not where true happiness comes from. The true happiness and true joy comes from following like God's teaching plans. And God's teaching and his order. And let me tell you, like, what a blessing it's been. I know that being married now and having these children, like I am giving them the proper love, right? The proper attention. And able to care for their needs, knowing that having the security in my husband, the love with my husband, follow his way. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't perfect.
Discipline.
I'm not perfect in any way. And thank goodness for the sacraments, you know, and receiving that grace and in prayer. But overall, you know, getting married and then having children is just what a gift, like to have done it the proper way. And I want to encourage those who, you know, are young, you know, watching this, like to commit to saving sex for marriage. And
you don't have to worry that, you know, you're going to leave him. Like you're married, you know, so
Ray is committed to me.
And then you have a father. So that's the biggest thing is now you have all these babies being born with no mom and dad. It's maybe a mom by herself, or the mom took off and the dad's by himself. And, you know, that's why God created for a man and woman, for mom and dad to be there to help. Because, you know, when you're tired, you can hand the baby off to your husband and say, you know,
I need a break.
Yes, absolutely. So
I think it's just a bigger picture. Like it's really focusing on the family. The root is the family.
Absolutely.
Because why do women want to have abortions? Because they're alone.
Right.
The man has left them. They're not in they think that by having sex, they're going to receive more love. Very often, once they give it away, the guy is running away and going to his next, you know, challenge.
And denying it's even that his kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've met so many women who, once he hears there's a child on board or coming, he's running. Absolutely. And he doesn't want to, you know, contribute towards child
being responsible. And that's what it is. A woman needs true help.
What does all this come down to? It comes from having sex and getting pregnant. It's as simple as that.
And even if you have messed up, there's secondary virginity. You know?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so important.
You
to
can reclaim
value
it always.
Yourself, and to know that, you know, you have to have discipline in marriage and in relationships. Period. I mean, you have to have discipline and you have to have generosity and love. And it's, you know, there are times that, you know, when you're married and, you know, you honestly, you know, you're just exhausted. You just want to break. I mean, and you know, it's kind of like you just need to, like, okay, God, I give it to you. Give me strength. Help me through this day, you know? Yeah. And I think as a mom with 7 kids and 9 grandkids, I mean, it's exhausting to be a mom or dad. I mean, you know, and there's no books that come out when you deliver the baby.
No.
You know, you just kind of like,
I mean,
okay, God.
Yeah. Today you might have resources on the, looking on the website, looking on YouTube and reading books, but it's hard. Like there is no like one set rule book, right? So you had 7 children.
Yeah, 7 births. Yeah.
A lot of people watching might think you're crazy. Like, what do you say to them?
I did have people, I'll never forget when we were at Fort Campbell, 101st Airborne, and the colonel actually was talking to my dad and said, "Can you believe that Adam and Laura want to have 7 children?" And my dad sort of joked with him and said, "Well, I think they want to have 10. And he goes, 10? And I said, "Yeah, whatever." I mean, and so my dad said, "Well, that's more souls to get to heaven." And that shut up this colonel. It was great.
Wow.
And I just said, you know what?
Oh, when you look at it in the concept of eternity.
Well, and to have that love between a man and a woman and to give birth to children and to look at like this baby is part of you and part of Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, and like each child, when you give birth to a baby, I mean, it just melts your heart. When they lay this baby on your chest, you just,
it's
your heart just is like on fire. You just like, I mean, it's just beautiful. So it's worth every ounce of hard work and, diaper changes and babies throwing up on you. And,
Absolutely.
There's some days I feel like, did I take a shower today? I can't even remember.
I mean, it could be a week.
I mean, there's this time that you just, but everything good in life is worth the hard work.
Yeah.
And so it's, when you see women who are so anti-life, there's something behind that. And I think they're post-abortive.
They've been hurt.
There's a reason why women are so anti-life, because most women, they love babies. I mean, I can't wait to shop at Carter's online and buy gifts. I mean, I enjoy that. I love having my grandbabies with me and having you guys.
And I'm so blessed to have your love towards our grandchildren.
It's such a, I could get a job and work. It doesn't bring you joy.
Right.
But having your kids and, "Hey, grandma," and they come over to me and, or my husband's holding them and both grandbabies.
And it's priceless to see the way that they look at you and just like the love. But they
just,
love going to grandma and grandpa's house.
It's I hope that we have 50 grandkids, or who knows what. I mean, God only knows how many grandkids we're going to have. But, I mean, whatever grandkids we have, God gives us, we're just so excited. And we want to help our children with their kids so they can be more joyful as parents.
Yes.
So we give them a break, and it's been a blessing.
Yes.
But, I think, how many times did we watch moms back in Louisville that I would say, "Okay, here Diana, here Victoria, here Christina, here Teresa, watch this baby. Why go upstairs and do another baby, help another baby?" So, but I would say to the moms, go on a date, with the mom and her boyfriend, and they were like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they were just like, "We don't know what to do." I mean, just to have that healthy time for them to bond, So it is a joy to have children. It's a lot of work.
It is.
I mean, but think about what your parents did for you.
Right.
Like you think, okay, maybe 4 or 5 diapers a day, times 7 days, so 35, times 4 weeks.
A lot of diaper changes.
I mean, you're talking, thousands of dollars in diapers over the years. And, my parents had cloth diapers. I don't know how they did it.
I know.
5 kids in 7 years and cloth diapers. My mom did it. And
a lot of laundry.
They made it, and so it's like, you can do it. Never give up.
There are always people willing to help, and don't believe the lie that no one wants to help you.
Yeah, well, and finding the resources. So like the pregnancy center will help
do
you.
your research. Yeah. You go to the library and look up,
Well, just put pregnancy center near me.
Yeah.
And they'll give you a wealth of knowledge of all the great resources in your area.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to have children. God created life for a reason. And he didn't create death. The devil wants death. The devil wants you to kill these babies, And I think when a woman chooses life, it is just, it's just a beautiful thing to see this child come out, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it is just, such a gift, So it's hard work though. So, never give up, and the women that have chosen abortion get healing. I mean, you can get that healing, but you remember this, you've been through something, you have to get the healing in your heart. And then, and it usually takes a while. Women usually will have an abortion. They won't tell anybody. Then they'll have children after that. And then they're not as loving with their children that they give birth to, because their heart is just broken.
Still
they're still thinking about that other baby that they killed. And it's so hard to be excited with these 2 or 3 or 5 kids they had after they had that abortion. So they have to get that healing. The devil wants to hold you down. Get the healing from Project Rachel, a Bible study, Project Rachel, Rachel's Vineyard. If you get that healing, then you can help other women that have had abortions to heal and then to become more joyful and be more pro-life and open to life, and that's the thing, God wants you to be happy as a mother, and wants you to love your children But unfortunately, if you don't get that post-abortion healing, it's just keeping you in this sadness. And God loves you and He wants to forgive everyone, but you have to come to Him to get that forgiveness.
We were all made in His image and likeness, and that's why we have to defend life.
Anyways, just adopting these women and really looking at them as women who need someone to rescue them, because that's the big thing, you know? I mean, I watch Maria and Michael and Dominic so you can get away. They don't have
it's
that.
a gift, right?
Right. I'm buying clothes for them, and you don't have to worry about it. It's St. Patrick's Day outfits, Valentine's Day outfits, Easter outfits.
What a blessing.
Thinking, what does this person need to help them? In any situation. I mean, there's so many women out there that don't have a woman and they don't drive. One of the moms, I had to drive her to all her prenatal appointments, and every time I would take her out to a different restaurant. She'd never been to Red Lobster. Wow. She'd never been to, Five Guys, Burger and Fries. So I'd say, okay, each time I pick up for a prenatal, I'd say, where do you want to go? And she's all excited, And, I was just like, you've never heard of Panera? I mean, Panera's nope. I mean, it was just really sad. So we as a nation, our churches.
We can all do our part.
Yes. I mean, at your church, wherever you go to church, do a diaper drive. Do a pregnancy center. Organize maybe meals. Ask a pregnancy center. We'd like to create gift cards. Yes. When every mom that had a baby, I ordered a meal train. So for the first couple weeks, they had different people bringing meals to them. Because, if you're trying to encourage these moms to enjoy and love their babies, they're trying to breastfeed, their bodies are changing, they're feeling horrible, and they might have other kids. Hormones are flying. So, I think the big thing is...
But we need to show love and compassion.
Absolutely. I think we get mad for women choosing abortion, and because it is an evil sin. We all know that. It's just understanding why.
Right.
Understanding what the problems are in their life that are making them to choose abortion. And then helping them solve those problems. And then every time you solve a problem, like the one mom said to me, I don't know where I'd be right now if you didn't help me choose life. I would have hated myself for killing my son. And now he's 4 and he's so cute. And I love when he calls me. And I sent the moms Easter clothes, and then they send me pictures of them in the Easter clothes.
Well, that's just it. You're not just helping them in the first few months. You're there. You've adopted them.
Absolutely.
And it's so incredible. Think about if people could just do that. People would be taken care of.
I think that's the biggest thing is, really seeing these women not as evil for thinking abortion.
Right. Change our mindset.
As desperate. They're really desperate and exhausted, and they just need someone to love them out of the situation, help them solve their problems, and then just, be their friend. I love sending texts and, positive things, Bible quotes, saying, you are worthy of God's love. God has a great plan for you. Do not give up. Don't let the devil doubt. I have so many things that certain Bible quotes that I send to the different moms, and just keep them encouraged in them. Don't ever give up.
Just to receive that text, I'm sure brightens their day. It gives them the momentum to keep going.
Yeah. And I tell them, you guys are welcome here anytime. We open up our house to them. They come up. Adam plays Nerf guns with the boys.
That's so great.
And, we have so much fun. All the kids, Victoria, Teresa, Diana, Christina, they all help watch the kids. We play games. We'll make brownie sundaes, chocolate chip cookies, whatever. I mean, I include them as our family because I know they don't have anyone. And, they don't have a mom that they can turn to. They don't have a dad they can turn to. It's really, it breaks your heart. You think, I can't imagine going through life without having a mom or a dad, know? So,
to know the love of God, and that's how do we learn that love? It's through our fathers very often. But if you don't have that, how do you know, the love of a father? And it's to be able to adopt these women and show them that love exists and what that love is like. Life is a gift, and I mean, we struggled for several years, my husband and I, to Ray and I, to have children, and I think maybe it hits me in a different way, just how life is such a gift, and from the moment of conception, that is life, and it's so sad, the lies that we're being told in our culture of death, that we live in today, so many people, and just the propaganda that's all around us. And so but there's so many resources, and there's so many churches and so many people that want to help mothers and families.
Just getting to those resources. I think when you're in a crisis, I think when we were at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, we were just married. I was, 21 years old. My husband took off to Iraq, and I had no clue what I was doing. I was in the middle of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is different from New Jersey. So he's a Jersey girl in the middle of
Yeah.
buffaloes. And I was like, I didn't know buffaloes still existed. I'm like, what?
This was the history books.
Yeah, I was like, okay. But what helped me was a Army wife. She was actually a warrant officer, which I'd never heard of. I always heard of officer enlisted. So warrant officer's wife. And she put together a list of local resources.
Wow.
And I so many times I thanked her. I didn't have kids yet. I was just kind of like on my own. What the heck am I doing out here?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Army. I mean, it was a shock. So, but I always had resources I always had people help me get the resources. So, of course, as soon as Adam left, the car broke down. And who do you trust, And so then they told me, oh, this is a good mechanic you can trust. And, it's just kind of connecting women. So, I know it's hard.
You're
Moms
not alone.
out there. I think deep down, when we get hard on ourselves, when we get discouraged, the devil is in there saying, you can't do this.
Change your thoughts.
Yeah,
Really be aware of the
and
negativity.
Well, I think a lot of it is just you're so wiped out emotionally.
Yeah.
You're exhausted. And, it's like, I have 3 kids. How am I going to take care of a 4th? I'm changing diaper after diaper, trying to breastfeed, trying to keep through the house. And I used to say to people, when you get to the 3rd house,
the third kid,
I meant, you just don't worry about it.
It's so hard.
Paper plates are great, I mean,
there will be a day when they're old enough and you can have it as clean as a house as you want.
Don't worry about a clean house.
Yeah.
But, so if you know of someone, if you're seeing a single mom at church, and you're a mom that you've already raised your kids and grandkids, go up to them and say, hi, what a beautiful baby you have.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You
Learn
look like
about
such a
her.
loving mom. And, God's planting seeds and he's wanting us to open our hearts and be real, no errors, just be real and say, I remember when I had children and, it was a struggle, but I'm so glad I did it. And so if each one of us can turn and open our hearts and help other women, and if you don't know of anybody right now, you moved to a new city or you're by yourself, call the local pregnancy center near you. They will get you in touch with resources. They know every resource in that town you're in.
Yes.
So, and then also 1-800-848-LOVE. It's a pregnancy center hotline, but they can also give you information to where you're at, of what resources you need, any problems you have, they can help solve them. Because we're all in this together. It's about being brothers and sisters in Christ and rescuing women and loving them out of their hardships and helping to be the best mom possible. And letting them know we truly do care. And that's what the mom said to me, I never knew someone really cared about me. Sacrificial love. Like, you don't even know me. Yeah. And then one mom said to me, I at first was skeptical of you and thought you'd want to take my baby from me. And I said, oh no, I already got 7 kids. I'm done. I'm exhausted. I'm just here to help because when Adam was in the Army, we had Army wives helping me. Yeah. And so I feel like this is my time to pay it forward. Yeah. And so for all the moms out there that have had great lives.
That are in a season that they're able to give back now.
Yes. Voluntary pregnancy center. If you see some single mom at church, just say, hey, how are you? And get to know them. Maybe there's a mom's group you can refer them to, we'll go grocery shopping and I'll go off and talk to a mom. My husband's like, here we go again. I always have to find women that I can see that are struggling, that I was like that. And people came to rescue me and help me, And so when he was deployed for a year, it was horrible. I mean, every single day taking care of the children and,
not getting a break.
Thank God for paper plates for a year. But I mean, but I've had women help me rescue, and that was an Army thing. It was I was so blessed to have Army wives to help me. And so, if you are in a church and you see single moms, maybe help them start a single moms group. Yeah. But
when they say it takes a village,
it does.
It does. And it's like so often you hear like, oh, well, that doesn't happen today. But it's like, we can, why? Why? Right. Let's make it happen. Like,
Absolutely.
We know that's
we're brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think we just need to, as a nation, turn to and help the women solve.
One at a time.
Yeah.
One at a time.
And so it's each one of us in our areas.
It's like throwing in the stone in the water, the ripple effect.
For all the women out there that are afraid if they got pregnant, what was going to happen, trust in God. Trust, give your heart to God and let pregnancy centers near you will help you. And that there's so many women out there who can't conceive and can't have a child. And God has blessed you for a reason. And it may be a test to make you stronger for the next thing he has in life for you. God's always preparing you for your next phase. You don't know why he's putting you for this. And I always say, sometimes you go for suffering and suffering, and then things get better. So it's just, if you just look at pregnancy center near me, they always have post-abortion healing. And that is the only way we're going to heal our nation. Really, is by us all opening up our hearts and being vulnerable, being real. I mean, don't put on fake airs. I mean, to me, I just say, look, I'm a sinner. There's nothing better about me than you.
Yeah.
And my husband was that way in the Army. You know, I had his soldiers' wives call me and they said, you know what? Your husband was my commander. You know, your husband was a commander, but he never acted like it. And I always said, yeah. He was like, hey, if I get fired, I'm on the same unemployment line with you. I mean, you know, like, so keeping it real.
Yes.
And always being open to talking to people. You know, everyone has a different journey and we don't know why. But, you know, I think about how Abby Johnson said, if God forgive me for selling thousands upon thousands of abortions, He can forgive anyone.
What movie was that again?
Unplanned.
Unplanned.
Started good Christian woman. Was at Texas A&M and got sucked into the launch of helping women and actually wind up working for Planned Parenthood as a director and realized after doing a ultrasound got an abortion on a baby, saw the baby move around and stopped and now is pro-life and is an amazing speaker. But she started and then there were none.
Okay.
And it's her compassion and her love for these women. She's loved them out of the abortion industry. And that's what we need to do. Is really love people for where they're at and help them because they're just wounded and you know and then there were none. She basically tries to get these women that are working for the abortion industry that are usually single moms and helps them get a job in a pro-life organization. And it's beautiful because you know it's one thing to say choose life, it's helping them choose life. You know, and so when I got the text yesterday from one of the moms, Happy Mother's Day, and then the other mom, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, touches my heart,
absolutely.
You know? And I just got teary-eyed.
You made a lot of sacrifices for them, but look, through those hard moments, like look at the joy that it's.
But for the women out there, you know, that have maybe given birth and had a Happy Mother's Day yesterday, and then for the women that maybe have chosen abortion, you know, there is healing. Please turn to Rachel's Vineyard or Project Rachel.
There are people that want
and the pregnancy
to help.
center near you.
Yeah.
You know, 1-800-848-LOVE.
Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you have.
And then Maria has been so good.
Yes, Maria's been awesome.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful.
Choose
baby.
life. Choose life.
Maria.
Life is a
Here,
gift.
can you do that one more time? Thank you for watching. And
Yeah. Thank you.
please like and share.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. And Marie wants to say, choose life.
There we go.
Life is a gift.
Life is beautiful. And someday you will have grandbabies. You know, you have your own children and your grandchildren. And it's all in God's timing.
You won't regret it.
Absolutely. You just got to trust God with your heart. Yeah. And His plans are way bigger and better than we will ever know.
And one of my favorite prayers, simple, Jesus, I trust in you.
Absolutely. Yeah.